Um, my first question for you, Sean, is
Yep.
like, what are some of your favorite recording techniques or process or styles that you like to employ with yourself or with musicians that are visiting in the past or remotely?
Uh, well, 20 years I've changed and tweaked things, and I'm a huge fan of purity, and I try to mic. I try to mic not only close mic like amplifiers and stuff like that, but the rooms they're in. I think it's important for the listener to have a feel of depth of where the art that they're listening, where it's coming from, not just dry. Now, do we end up using that later on in post? Sometimes we pull that back and we go for more of a dry sound because the song calls for it. But as far as recording techniques go, I like multiple mics on a cabinet, multiple cabinets. So I will actually, for guitars, I gotta be more specific. So I got a big enough live room. I got over 2,000 square feet of live room that I built what they call Tonehenge, and I actually take amplifiers and line them up, sometimes separating them, sometimes not, and I'll close mic with multiple condensers and dynamics on each, and typically 3 to 4 amps at a time, most of the time three, um, and we get a lot of information that way that we can pick and choose. Sometimes
Yeah.
we end up with one mic or two mics, but um, most of the time, we good phase. Make sure the phasing is good on that, and then I like capturing the room with a couple large diaphragm condensers, U87 typically, and AK47 out there in the hall. So that's for guitars. Bass direct. I like a good direct sound, and I like a good. If you're gonna do effects, and you do that in the direct signal, but I like a good pure, well saturated, well turned up amp with a couple mics on it. Of course, bass. If you don't have phase right, you really can screw yourself up. But and in drums, gosh, there's no favorite. There's no one favorite. I think the most important thing about one thing I love as it's a favorite of mine when miking and or recording a band, is I try to do something completely different every time I set out to record. I've been doing that for almost over 15 years. Every single time I record, I try something new. I won't tell the band sometimes. They kind of freak out. Like, have you done it before? No, never. so,
You
so
guys,
I like,
you guys are my guinea pigs.
well, I mean, kind of, yeah.
Well,
I
no,
mean,
no, 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 yeah, yeah, I got you. Yeah.
I don't. Well, I don't. I make sure I get to bear like the foundation of what I know we need to get, and I will try something new that can be taken out if it turns out to be bad.
Yeah.
So I like doing something completely new every time. It doesn't matter if it's turning a mic a different direction or a completely different microphone or um, moving the cabinet in a different direction or something. I try to do something completely different every time I record.
Yeah. That that
So
is that is really interesting and just neat. I mean, I could tell you got a lot of passion, you got a lot of talent, you got a lot of enthusiasm for this. That's
thank you.
yes, yes.
One of my tricks for vocal, I guess, is my go-to. I love a good dynamic mic paired with a condenser and have a really close, like right, like
Hmm.
through fist here, right here with a pop filter in front of both.
Yeah.
And, you got to match the diaphragms up. And I love having the two of those together because I really can get automation or utilize those for dynamics between verses and choruses.
Oh my
So
goodness. That is
yeah,
oh man. I
so
I hope you stay open for as long until the day you retire or seriously because I want to I just hearing you speak so passionately about this makes
thank you.
me honestly seriously want to go and try it out myself for real. I mean, this is
I
because
didn't go to
like
school. It's all, I mean, completely. It's what I love from when I was in high school, reading the back of records and CDs. I always looked at who was doing the recording, who was doing the producing, and I would go and listen to other artists under the same guy, that same producer, same engineer, and that this is completely, there's no formal education in this other than the school of hard knocks, if you will.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Like the way I record, I I take the very like the um how should I say, template way.
okay.
Yeah, so like I got Apple Logic Pro X,
Okay.
and there's like I myself, I always like since high school I've been more of a solo artist, more independent songwriter. And there was about like a 6 month period in 2015 where I did enlist some buddies to play lead guitar and bass, and I did hire a drummer and a sound engineer at Terra State Community College and here in Fremont. And I
Yep.
believe you're in Huron, right?
Not anymore. I moved to Sandusky.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and I used to actually, I did a couple projects out at Terra. Which
Yeah,
how long ago were you out there?
I was 2015, probably about 6 years ago.
Okay, they just got done doing the new studio then.
Yeah.
The newer studio, if you will. But
Yeah.
I did some couple talks with the recording program out there. I guess so. You out there with Chris Camara?
Cabrera. Yes.
A really good close friend of mine. I love Chris. It's been a long
Yeah,
time.
nice guy. Yeah, very intelligent, very just talented, and
he's half of. Did he ever tell you about Killbot Zero?
yes, that where they have those cartoons on those screens.
Right.
Yeah.
So his is my drummer in Casket Company. My band.
Oh, cool.
And yeah, Bruce Vermette. So I met Chris through Bruce. Actually, excuse me, I met Chris before I met Bruce. Even doing work at Terra, I would bring a backpack and set up shop and let all the students in and basically record a small EP, or we track like 2 or 3 songs in a day, and I would basically spill my knowledge on the ground and let them pick the pieces that they wanted. And got to know Chris very well, and then I met Bruce when I got involved with Casket Company, and all of a sudden I found out about Killbot Zero, and 2 of my favorite human beings are in the same band and are making amazing prog rock, and I thought it was really cool. So
yeah. I mean, everyone that heard those songs that we recorded, Chris was on drums, and everyone's saying, "Hey Matt, who's your drummer?" Seriously. Yeah, like I mean, this guy is on fire. I mean, yeah, he did a great job.
Yeah, he plays drums, guitar, is a MIDI genius. If Chris ever gets to see this, hi Chris.
Yeah. What's up, Chris? I hope you see this. Yes, we I say hi too. But anyways, cool. like the way that I've been recording, because we got a little off topic here, but is the way I've been recording is I would even with a Tascam voice recorder that also could be a interface. That actually has been the loudest and the most fun to work with, because I don't got to worry about plugging it in. It's battery powered or by USB.
Right.
And I've been like I got one line for guitar or bass, guitar or bass, and I got another line for a mic, condenser mic, just a condenser mic. And I'll plug it into Apple Logic Pro X, or now it's just Apple Logic Pro, or just Apple Logic now. They for some reason the X is gone. And then I'll use the singer-songwriter template, and I would adjust just all the volumes down to at least set down to at least -7.
Okay.
And that way, like, I guess I don't know. I to be honest, I don't really know if that's what you're supposed to do. I know there's like no, I mean, as long as it's loud enough where people are pleased with it, as long as it's clear enough where people find it satisfying, and as long as it's fun enough where people are entertained or having a good time, that's all that really matters, I guess. I mean,
if it sounds good, it is good. All right. Yeah. There's no. I get so angry with people who do things by textbook. and then they get angry because their stuff sounded like it was coming out of a textbook, boring as hell. And and here's the thing with your -7, I do -6.
Yeah.
And that's from trial and error. Now, come to find out, -6 is kind of very textbook, but I had to find that out. -7 is actually probably a little bit better because you're working in the digital realm, right? You don't have any analog. Okay, because you need some more headroom. So in the digital realm, for those out there who don't know, you don't have headroom and you hit peak and you slam that channel, you're gonna get digital distortion and you can't get rid of that. So having it lower as the gain coming in gets you a little bit of more of ability. You get 1 more dB of push that you can do without pegging it. Now I have analog everywhere, and so I sometimes will push things on purpose.
Yeah.
But -6 for me.
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, it's fun. I mean, like, I do guitar, bass. I just use the MIDI drum machine.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, use that, and what's I mean, I've heard that Ableton is probably the industry standard of having the most digital instruments, but
inside, from what I heard, yes, I've used Ableton. Oh my gosh, probably in some post-movie soundtrack work, and that's about it.
Yeah, but it's so much fun. But anyways, my second question for you, this has been an awesome talk, man. This has been a great talk. My second question is, are you a songwriter, and do you have a songwriter style or technique that you like to share?
I used to consider myself much more of a songwriter than I do now. As I've progressed into more producing music, engineering music, I started finding myself in a situation where I would come up with a verse.
Yeah.
I come up with a chorus, and I'll have absolutely 1,001 ways to piece those together and try to make something work. So many options that I would literally walk away and just dismay. Mm-hmm. Also, again, that's me by myself. But I do write songs. There is, how I like to write. I like taking chances. I like doing things weird, like not having choruses at all. Or I like coming out the gate with a chorus. I used to write a lot of punk rock back in the 90s. And but since the early 2000s, I was co-writer in a band called Poor Mercy. And since that band broke up and went on its own way, I haven't really written since, up until Casket Company, and really got knee deep in writing with our last album, which was Full Circle. And it was neat because it was writing with somebody else when you're co-writing stuff. Is I'm more of a catalyst that way from a producer standpoint. I don't even put producer on my business cards anymore. It's primary catalyst. I like helping make things come out of nowhere. Ingredient 1 meets ingredient 2, and we create something cool. But what's great is that I'm the bass player, so I don't have to worry about writing other people's parts. I just got to make sure what I'm doing feels good to me, and is cohesive else, which is like prime time. So it's been like 15 years since I've productively done something like that, and boy, it felt good. Got a lot out of it. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. Pardon me.
You're good.
My third question is, do you have any instrument practice habits that you like to share?
Instrument practice habits. Yes. I like practicing at low volume. I don't like turning crazy things up anymore. Hearing conservation is important to that. It doesn't make any sense for me to throw earplugs in if I'm by myself to crank up an amp. So I keep my amp I can keep a conversation going and still jam out. Warm up, stretch. Of course, I'm a bass player, but that goes for everybody, including drummers, especially drummers. Something I learned from drummer friends is that sometimes you get the effects of carpal tunnel from repetitively doing repetitive motion. I've known 2 drummers now that had carpal tunnel surgery, but it was unnecessary. It wasn't carpal tunnel. They actually had a pinched or impinged nerve in their shoulder, and then their doctor investigated it.
Yeah.
So I would implore any drummers out there, stretch, and if you have tingling in your fingers, don't automatically go for the carpal tunnel stuff. Neck bass players can be the same way. You can get shoulder injuries
Yeah.
that can
Heavy.
cause you. Yeah, right,
Heavy instrument.
right. So stretching, the pre, and also, practice how you're going to perform. Meaning, like if you're learning a song, sure, sit down. But if you're getting ready for a show, if you're getting ready for something, stand up. Get used to that posture. Your muscle memory is going to be a lot better when you're up there live in front of 1,000 people or 2 people or whatever. When you are actually in the same kind of posture as you would be in practice.
Very nice. Very nice. My fourth question is, do you have any lyrical inspiration you'd like to share?
Lyrical inspiration. That's a difficult one because next to lead guitar solos, the human voice and lyrics can be the most abstract.
Yes.
They can be so literal that you're like, whoa, okay, I can't argue with that because that sounds literally like you experienced that 2 minutes ago. When it comes down to if you're writing a vocal part, lyric wise, rhythm wise, don't be afraid to use just sounds. When you're sitting there working on a song, literally make noises with your mouth in a rhythm that makes sense to you. And if you find yourself in an impasse, if you're in a band and you're finding yourself in an impasse, listen to the hi-hat rhythm. The hi-hat will help you navigate a vocal rhythm to help put together what words make sense. Because some reason the hi-hat is out to me when I'm working on that. The other side of this is when you're writing about something, unless you're a really, really good fiction writer, make it believable. You got to understand that writing and delivery are 2 different things. But I promise you, your delivery is going to be a hell of a lot easier if you're writing about something that you either have had experience with or know someone who has through their eyes. And the listener needs to believe what you're saying, not just like, wow, that sounds cool. If it's not believable, then it's an element of that song that you're not going to get the listener to really focus on. So don't fake the funk. A lot of people can do that with a lot of instruments, but when it comes down to writing a song lyrically from a lyric standpoint, you gotta come with your A game.
Yeah. So. That's some wise words, in my opinion. Very wise words. And my last question is, what are some marketing approaches that you like to share, if you have any?
Marketing?
Yes.
Okay. Well, don't have a pandemic. Can't really stop that from happening. If you're in a band, if you work at a studio, if you're a producer, if you're an engineer, you're a songwriter. You're trying to get your whatever it is you have out to the people and want people to believe in you. So it doesn't really from what part of the art you're involved in. What you need to understand is that be humble. Never.
Business is good. Be humble. Business is good.
That's our tagline. But I mean, but there is business can be good if you're humble. Word of mouth can kill you. I mean, literally. I've done some advertising as a studio standpoint. I've been the sponsor for a lot of things like Battle of the Bands, and I'm going to be sponsoring a soccer team next year. Which is like, why would you're a studio? Why? Because it's brand recognition. Okay. Mm-hmm. My stickers that I used to have, I had 1,000 of them. They're all over the place. It's just a mohawk head. There's no name. There's no phone number. It's a logo that I wanted people to see and identify with, not necessarily standing at the John at a bar in Bowling Green. I'm not necessarily going, oh, I'm going to call that studio.
Yeah, you're at Howard's
right. They're not going to do that from there. They're going to look at that and go, wow, there's absolutely nothing there except for that head, and that head is what people will remember.
Yeah.
So, you know, when you're a songwriter, you know, or if you're a singer songwriter, if you're a band, if you're a studio, you know, don't ever think that there's a book that you have to follow for this shit. And two, um, don't what other people think, opinions. You know, I used to really believe in them until I started trying to pay my bills with them,
Yeah.
and I pay my bills with opinions. And you know, it's taken me over 20 years to get where I'm at now. So patience, be humble, and you know, don't ever think that there's a step-by-step guideline. YouTube is not going to help you build a successful business.
Yeah.
You just got to, and don't screw your, you know, customers, or your, you know, if you're writing songs, be smart about it. Find people who know more about some of this stuff than you,
Mhm.
and that you believe in them and they believe in you. Okay, if you're paying to play as well, that's a difficult one too, because you know, some advertising markets, you have to pay somebody and they market you, right?
Yeah.
Research them, talk to them, negotiate. Don't ever, you know, hey, here's a check, let's just do this. No, find out if you're a good pair. Find out that person or that company or that whatever entity is the right thing for you. So,
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. Thank you. Is there anything else that you'd like to share or add?
no, just, I mean, everyone out there, stay safe. Is this going on a YouTube channel type thing, or
Facebook and YouTube. Is that all right?
cool? No, it's fine.
All right. Nice. Nice. Cool.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just saying, is everyone be safe out there. Just, you know, if you want to know more about the studio, the Mohawk Studio. That's on Facebook. We're on Instagram, Twitter, um, themohawkstudio.com. Um, you know, check out the Casper Company. We got some surprises coming up here pretty soon. And you know, check out this guy. Okay, this guy right here interviewing me. You know, he takes time to talk to other people to help others out, including himself. That means if you know, are interested in this kind of stuff, you should listen to more of the guys like this.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
seriously, you are somewhere. And you know, how old are you, man?
I'm 30.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. That is not a that is a time of learning that I wish that I would have been doing what you're doing right now back then, and I wasn't. So you know, you're already ahead of where I was.
It's all right. Thank you. Thank you. And everyone, if you're in Northwest Ohio, please check out the Mohawk Studio. Seriously. And and yeah, yeah. And this has been an awesome, great interview. I'm flattered. Seriously, I'm
No,
flattered.
Matt. Yeah, no, you know, well, the flattery is on my end. You asked me to do this, and you know, I people are like, oh, what the ego you have, and I really don't. I want people to succeed. You
Yeah.
know, if you're a studio artist, I want to see you do good. There's plenty of art out there that we all can be doing and we should be doing.
Yes.
So your studio that wants help, if you know, hey, how did you do this? Trust me, I've done that actually probably half a dozen times. Have a studio call me out of the blue asking for help on how to design this, or I have no problem helping anybody out. I don't consider myself in competition with anybody. I just myself, and you know, we just want everyone to do good. And
Yeah.
Matt, I hope you're doing good. You know, and I hope you know, you and anyone who's out there right now that's kind of like, I'm hurting. Well, we all are, and next year, hopefully, we won't be hurting. And I hope to see all you guys at a live show sometime.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And definitely, you know, I'm out of quarantine later this week, and you know, I want to invite you if you want to come out, and we got some recording going on here next few weeks, and also in January if you want to come out and just hang out. That goes for anybody. If anybody wants to come, of course. I mean, we're socially distanced, we wear masks and stuff, but I got plenty of room. We have 6,000 square feet of studio here, and you know, if you definitely want to take some time and come out this way and see what's up and hang for a little bit, you're more than welcome to.
That sounds great. It may not be till March or April, but I'm seriously considering it,
Okay,
seriously wanting to do it. Yeah, I definitely want to do this for sure.
cool. Yeah, I hope you come out, man.
All right, cool, man. All right, thank you so much again, and
All right, man.
until next time, there will be a next time. Yes.
Peace out, sir.
Peace out, man.